Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Drunken Cryptid.
Was these two globes. I don't know how to describe them. And I stood up there and looked at them, and it's like...
I just couldn't hold it anymore, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was a chupacabra. I was so excited.
They were referring to Bigfoot.
There are voices in the darkness.
Reason why this show is called Drunken Cryptid.
And welcome back to another episode of The Drunken Cryptids. I'm your host, Matthew Orton. And I do want to give a shout out real quick to Dylan over there at blademedia.com. Dylan, thank you for the graphic. Thank you for the website. You guys, Blade Media did the graphic for us for our logo. And they also built the website. If you want an example of what Blade Media can do, please go check out their website, blademedia.com. That's Blade, B-L-A-Y-E-D, media.com. So go give them a shout out. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate everything you've done. And of course, special shout out to the team. I don't do this by myself. I have a good team that supports me and surrounds me. So I definitely want to give a shout out to you guys. As always, I mean, I'm not where I'm at, because of me. It's because of the team that I have around me. So thank you again. Appreciate it. All right. Shows coming up. We do have on January 14th, we are going to be at the Censored Monkey from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Come on out, meet us. We'll have the equipment. We can record some of your encounters. There's some folks started reaching out to us to are going to meet us up there. So come out, join us. We'll have a good time. It is a 21 and only establishment, though, so you got to bear that in mind. Sorry, kids. On February 8th, we are going to be at the Paradise Pizza in Ozark, Arkansas. That's from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Again, February 8th, Ozark, Arkansas, Paradise Pizza, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to be doing an open town hall meeting with Todd Neese, good friend of mine. Great guy. You get a chance to come meet him. Ask questions to myself, to Todd. It'll be hosted by the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel, who will also be doing some expeditions that weekend. So if you want more information on that, go ahead, email me again, message me again, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. The big news is April 5th, live show with the Cryptids of the Corn guys. That's right, they're going to come down here to Arkansas. We're going to be at Old Bart's, 600 North Main Street in North Little Rock from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's on April 5th. Tickets are for sale. This is a ticket event, you guys, so limited seating, limited availability. I'll be recording for an hour. They're going to be recording for an hour. I know what Justin and Jay are going to be talking about. I know what I'm going to be talking about. It's going to be a good time, you guys. You get a chance to meet and greet with us, ask us questions. With a live show, we get a chance to kind of show pictures, versus like a radio show, how you just hear us talk, we describe, but we get a chance to show pictures. We'll be sharing everything that we've been doing, what we've been up to. It's going to be a lot of fun. You get a chance to meet and greet with us. Old Bart's is going to have a full menu available, including the Drunken Cryptid Burger, which is an amazing burger. Paul, I love it over there. Thanks, man. That's on April 5th, though. The ticket information is available on the website. It's on our website. It's on the Cryptids of Corn website, and it's going to be in the description of the show below. So please make sure that if you want to join in, great. Get your tickets before they go because they are selling. If you are coming from out of town, go ahead, message me. I can help you get hotels in the area close by. That way, you know where it's at, and you get a chance to hang out with us. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna visit with you guys. The show's about y'all, so come out, hang out with us, and join in. And of course, you guys, I appreciate all the support. Keep liking, keep sharing. It means a lot to me. Keep commenting. If there's an episode you like, great. Drop a comment. Hey, I love this show. If you don't like it, well, don't comment. I mean, the world's full of trolls. It really is. Not as mean as there used to be. But go ahead, like, comment, share. I appreciate all the 5-star reviews, you guys. I really do. The more comments we get, the more that we get out there in the algorithm, and that helps the show grow, and it can reach some other people who are trying to maybe get some encounters, they feel lost about. So this does help folks out. So the more you like it, the more you share it, the more people get out there. So I appreciate it. But again, if you've had an encounter and you want to talk about it, email me, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. And follow us on all your social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X. We are everywhere. So appreciate it. But now, on to the show. I have a special guest coming on today for you guys, and I'm super excited because we are right in the middle of filming.
Yep.
We are literally in the middle of filming. Well, not right now, but we are day 2 of filming, and I am sitting with the host, the brainchild, the guru behind the Searching for Sasquatch series. If you haven't heard of the series, I don't know what rock you've been living under, but you need to go to YouTube right now.
Tubi.
Tubi. You need to go to Tubi right now and look up Searching for Sasquatch. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the links and everything in the description of the show so you can be jumping over there to click, and we can get you set up with it. But I have the infamous, the world-renowned world traveler, Indiana Jones with blonde hair, Jason Kenzie with me tonight. Jason, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
I am beyond excited. This is my first expedition I get a chance to be on, and I was honored and just beyond humbled that you and Todd wanted me to come up here.
Yeah, when I heard that you were coming up and you had this wonderful podcast, I had to, reach out, say hi, and, want to come on and support our local, cryptid researchers. So...
yeah, we got our own little hotspot that we've been working down there in Bald Knob. But tomorrow, though, we're going to be doing a town hall meeting.
Yep, we're going to be doing the Ozark Mountain. Oh, no, actually...
No, you're doing that.
Yes.
No. Okay, so where you're going to be at? You're going to be there next week. What day are you going up there?
I think it's the 28th. That's...
28th. What day is that?
I think September 28th is the Ozark Mountain Bigfoot Festival or Convention.
Okay, that's on Saturday. Yeah, this episode is going to drop on Monday the 30th is when this one goes out. So this will already be happening now.
Perfect. So you guys can all come next year, 2025.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm supposed to be going to the next year the Ohio Bigfoot Jamboree put on by the Cryptids of the Corn guys. Well, they still want me to tell you hi, by the way.
Oh, hey. How's it going there, Just?
So let's get into this. Okay, so you started off, I'll let you run it because this is your show. This is going to be all about you. But you did start off just filming animals.
Yeah, so for 20 years, over 20 years, I am a animal photojournalist. So actually, before I actually started, photographing animals, I actually did events and weddings as a photographer. And one time at an event, a guy walked up to me and said, "Would you take photos of my little dog?" And I was like, "Okay, sure, no problem. So do you want to be in the shot?" And he's like, no, just photos of my dog. And I took a step back because I didn't think people would pay to have photos taken of their dog. So I met up with him, and sure enough, the photo shoot went amazing. The little dog was incredible. I love photographing white dogs because they show up on film so nice. But he would tell me stories about his little dog. And one of the stories was his little dog saved his entire family's life when the house caught on fire. The little dog was trying to wake them, jumped up on their bed, and peed on his face to wake him up. And so he woke up and saw that his house was on fire, and he jumped out the window onto the ground. And so
that's a smart dog.
I know. And and that touched me. I thought, wow, I wonder if other people have similar stories or some, and then I learned everyone has stories about their dogs or their cats or their pet. So then I started, he showed the photos to his friends, and his friends were like, wow, this is a nice shot. I want pictures of my animal. So I started doing cats and dogs and parrots and medium-sized snakes. And then one day a guy called me up and said, hey, I have a caiman, which is like a small crocodile. And it was about 3.5 feet long, and it was he had built an aquarium downstairs in his basement. And so I showed up, and there was no cages. He was feeding it. It was coming up like inches from my face. I'm getting in the most amazing shots. Well, before I did this photo shoot, I told my friends, hey, this guy has like a crocodile kind of reptile in his basement. And, you know, my friends were like, oh, that's cool. But I knew that they were like, yeah, sure, Jay. Why would someone have that? So I decided I'm going to prove them wrong. And I went out and purchased my first video camera. And I went and I filmed the whole incident with the caiman. It was amazing. And that started a web series that ran for 15 years called Jason Kenzie's Amazing Animal Adventures. And I must have filmed 400 videos of all different kinds of exotic pets, because after he showed the photos of his caiman to his friends in the States, I started getting phone calls from people that had much more exotic animals like tigers and bears and zebras and monkeys, kangaroos, everything in between. And they would fly me out and I would be filming and photographing. And my motto was, if I was to film your animal, there'd be no cages. I have to be able to, quote, hug the animal, except for the alligators. That didn't go over very well. But the tigers were like house cats. Like the tiger would just be walking around the house. After eating dinner, we'd be sitting watching TV. And literally my feet would be on the back of a 400-pound tiger. And this guy with the grizzly bear, which was his friend, also same thing. They had these giant doggy doors for the grizzly bear to walk in and out of. And the grizzly would be right smack dab in the middle of the floor while we're watching. And this is like Texas.
That's pretty cool.
One's Texas, so you imagine how big the houses are. And yeah, so it was amazing. And the monkeys were amazing. There were so many. The kangaroos were really cool. I've been kicked. I've been punched. I've been bitten. There was a lady that had 5 wolves, a big giant white, I think it was like almost a 200-pound Arctic wolf. It was beautiful.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. That would be beautiful to see.
And so, I first time I crawled down into a wolf den, and 30 feet down, and it opened up, and I could almost stand in it. And then there was little chutes off to the side, so I would crawl even further down. And here I am filming the whole thing.
Well, after yesterday, I'm not surprised you were crawling down to a den. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, you'll have to wait for the episode to drop, for him on his show. Yeah, you have to see where he crawled through.
Yeah, we could talk about it because us talking about it, the visual, probably there's no comparison.
No, it's not at all. So it sounds to me like you already have been doing this awesome little Indiana Jones, but for the animals.
For the animals, yeah. And then I'd go in the wilderness and try and capture photos of the wild animals at the same time. So I really learned how to. I learned a lot about animals, right? Like back in the day, I had no idea that the polar bear isn't white. It's actually the hair is translucent.
Yep.
So it's clear. So from a distance, it looks white, but really, if you look at it up close, it's clear. It's just the way the sun hits it and whatnot. I did not know that back in the day.
Neither did I. I thought they were white as well. Yeah. And I learned that as well. And that put, speaking of Bigfoot, though, I know that Todd's trying to work an experiment. I don't want to give too much away, but using the same probability with their fur.
That they can use it for camouflage.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the Bigfoot thing here in a second. Though.
Yeah. So, and so then I did that for many years. And then when COVID hit and the world, stopped breathing, I kind of lost myself a little bit because I didn't know what to do. My parents had passed away, so there was a lot of depression going on, and I didn't have the animal adventures because we were shut down. And I live in Vancouver, Canada, which is only like an hour away from Harrison Hot Springs, which is the Sasquatch capital of the world, there was more sightings and interactions with these creatures out by Harrison Hot Springs. We also, the Four Horsemen used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so the audience doesn't know who the Four Horsemen are. Go ahead and tell them.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. This is your show.
Yeah. So after everything shut down, I decided, what am I going to do? And I was sitting with my friends wondering, what am I going... My friend's like, hey, why don't you look into Sasquatch? Maybe it's an animal. So as we were kind of laughing about it, I took a step back and thought, you know what? He might be right. Maybe Bigfoot or Sasquatch is an animal. So I went and interviewed an eyewitness who allegedly saw one of these creatures, and in turn, they took me to another person, and I started filming and interviewing these people. And then from there, I talked to the First Nations people, and they were telling me these wild stories about the forest people. And so they pointed me into a direction, to an area where they believed that the Sasquatch people live. So I went into this area, and I found a lake deep in the forest that, like deep in the mountains, this lake that had all these footprints that went right across it, hundreds of them. And so I had a drone. So I droned the lake, and you could clearly see all the footprints from land where I'm standing. You could see the footprints in the lake, and you could see the toes, and it was incredible.
Wow.
So I took the footage to the First Nations people, and they said that I found the migration path of the Sasquatch people from Alaska all the way to California. And then I took a helicopter into the middle of the wilderness and got dropped in, spent a couple days there. And, I found trees that were ripped out of the ground, turned upside down. I found a deer that was ripped apart and hanging from the tree. It was hanging from the tree by itself. Like, there wasn't rope. It was almost like vines and stuff were built around it, and they used the actual deer to wrap it around up high. Now, I know cougars will drag stuff up into trees, so I can't say that it was, a Bigfoot that did that.
Well, with the vines wrapped around it, I don't think it's going to be there that long. I think that Bigfoot, I think you might be onto something on that one, where Bigfoot put it up there and used the vines that tied in there. You're right, because if a cougar drags it up there, it's going to drape it over a branch.
Yeah.
Now, this was just hanging up there.
Yeah,
That's a whole different scenario.
Yeah, totally. And found some other footprints, and I launched the documentary, and it just blew up. 100,000 views within a couple days, and then it just kept going. And then other researchers would contact me and say, hey, I want to bring you out to a Bigfoot conference. And that's where I met Chad Dadema and met Dave Dominique. And then I met the She Squatchers at this event, and they let me speak and they let me show the documentary. And yeah, it was great. It was actually an amazing experience. And then we went way up into the UP of Michigan.
Yeah.
And that is where I had some incredible, scary encounters.
Now, that was the recent one we were talking about yesterday, right? You were just up there.
No. This is 5 years ago.
Oh, Lord. Okay, hold on.
No.
So let me pause you real quick, because I made
Yeah.
a note here while we were talking when you were up there. Yeah, I dropped off the wilderness. The upside down trees.
Yeah.
Now, that seems to be becoming more and more. People are seeing that now more and more. And I'm wondering whether or not it was already there before, but it took somebody to recognize it. And I know that down here in the South, no reports of upside down trees. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of, obviously there's a difference between, territories or regions, of Sasquatch. But without the upside down trees down here, but they are up there.
Yeah.
And it's just
I don't know. I just know there was about 4 of them, or 4 or 5 of them, and they were about 40 feet apart. And there was no tractor marks on it. There was no marks on it from heavy equipment. And not to mention, there were massive, you have to understand, where I'm from, trees can be 10 feet in diameter.
Oh, yeah.
200 feet. So there was these giant trees all around it, meaning not even tractors or heavy equipment could get in there at that time, because the trees that were around it were almost the same size. But some of them were ripped up, moved, and then now I have been told by some of the loggers that they have ripped trees out of the ground, turned it upside down, and jammed it back in there so the roots can be used by eagles to nest. Because when they log an area, there's no more trees. And so the eagles have no place to
Look at that. A
roost.
positive note for the logging industry. How
Yeah.
cool is that? I did not know that.
Yeah. So, and I know some of the First Nations have done that too. They've just put trees upside down, and so the roots, they act as a nest.
Yeah, but okay, but they're using equipment to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the First Nation people, they're using equipment, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah,
And a whole bunch of them.
have to be.
So the whole area is going to be pretty much beaten down. But if you have, I don't know, a clan of Bigfoot doing it,
Yeah.
it's not going to be that. I mean,
Actually, maybe they one time saw the loggers doing it and thought, "Oh, good idea, we do it too," and they did it for the eagles.
okay.
I don't know.
So what's funny about on my hot area that we're investigating down there, when I found the blind, I'm called the hunting blind, and we talked actually about it to where what if the Native Americans were using blinds based upon what Bigfoot was doing, or
Yeah.
Bigfoot caught on to what they were doing the hunt and mimicked us. So there's a lot of mimicry going on there. So that's a good observation.
Well, I actually, after 5-6 years of investigating and some of the stuff that I've seen in the darkness and the creatures following us, and I almost think that they're younger Bigfoots, they're younger creatures, but I also think they're toying with us now. I think over the 200 years of them watching us, looking at their footprints and casting it and looking at the tree structures that they've built. And I think I'm almost believing that they're doing it on purpose now just to kind of poke fun. Like, look at the stupid human over there staring at my footprint. Or tree structure. Me make a new one over here. We're in Florida, and we found all these tree structures in the middle of the forest. We left, went home. Literally the next day, we went back, and there was a whole new structure built right next to it that wasn't there the day before. And we were filming everything, and we went back on the footage and look, this was not here, and it was right next to it. It was kind of crazy.
Okay, well, you brought the UP.
Yep.
Okay, so
I went up there to the UP with a group of Bigfoot researchers. I was very new at this. I knew animals, and I knew the wilderness, and I know some of the stuff, as long as I can figure out what animals are in that area. So while we were on ATVs going in the back forest of the UP, I spotted a giant tree X, like it was 20 feet tall, and it had another two trees. So one tree looked like it was either pushed over or it fell, and another one was ripped out of the ground, moved, and placed on the other one. And they're big trees. They weren't like tiny things. I don't even think 5 humans could lift these trees. Then there was another tree that was on top of it, like literally on top.
Holding it down.
And yeah, well, I don't know if it was holding it down. I just know it was just balancing on top. So I turned to everyone and said, "You know what? I'm gonna put my hammock tent underneath this." And everyone's like, "Jay, I don't know if you want to do that because these creatures, this means danger or don't cross. This is our territory." And me being kind of a naive and like, I'll be okay. I went and strung up my hammock tent. And if anyone doesn't know what a hammock tent is, it's basically a hammock that has like a fly, like a mosquito net over the top. And so that night, and so as we were walking, so the night came around, all the trucks and stuff were parked about, I want to say maybe 40 yards from us. And then everyone else was probably about 45, 50 yards from us on the other side of the trail, like the little logging road that we drove up on. So we were, probably 40 yards by the tree X. And as we were walking from the base camp across to it, we smelled something horrible. Like it was almost like we walked into a cloud of something that died. And right away, David Dominique is like, you know what? This could be a Sasquatch that we're smelling. So I'm looking around. We're all looking around, see if maybe we could see any eyes shine. Nothing. Then we walked about 25 feet to the hammock tent, and I climbed in. And probably about 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm lying there and I hear crack. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I could hear it walking. And as it was walking, it was like crunch, crunch. I could feel the vibration off the rope of the hammock. And as it's walking towards me, I'm like, okay, is it a bear or maybe a pig, a wild pig? And as it stopped, like probably about 15 feet from me, maybe even 10 feet, and I'm lying there and I'm listening. And it grunted in my ear. And I was like, oh, and I'm shaking. I start uncontrollably shaking, and I'm trying to stop shaking, and it's hurting. Have you ever tried, you were so cold, or if you're shaking, you're trying to stop it?
Yeah.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
I'm lying there trying not to make a sound. I'm almost stopped breathing. I have my video camera in my between my legs, and it grunted, and then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if it truly is a Bigfoot, it could just hit me. I'm already rolled up as a burrito, so it could just put me over his shoulder and just walk me into the forest. This is what's going through my mind. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm trying to hold my breath, and all of a sudden it turned and it walked away. I could still feel the vibration of whatever it was. And then I heard it, and then it stopped. It like crunch, 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 crunch. It stopped. And I yelled out, David, is that you? And then from the darkness I hear, Jay, it's me. I'm over here. What do you want? And so I unzipped really fast. I jumped out, ran around the tree, and there's David all wrapped up by the tree. And I'm like, dude, was that you that was just walking around me? He's like, no, Jay, I was sleeping. I only woke up because you called my name. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, man.
So we looked around for footprints, but the whole ground was like, it was all moss and leaves. And
Kind of like what we encountered yesterday. Yeah.
So we couldn't really see anything. At the same time this was going on, we recorded talking, like this weird, and I'm like, we got that on recorder at the same time. So I'm going to spin forward into the future about a year and a half, 2 years later, and we went to the Red Lake Indian Band, where they, like the researchers believe they speak Ojibwe, like the Sasquatch people speak Ojibwe, the language, and the Red Lake Indian Band, they speak the Ojibwe language, and we went up to this one of the elders, and who not only spoke Ojibwe, she taught it. She would teach it to the younger generation. So she was well, like a master at this. So we took the language, like the whatever it was, the audio that we caught of the talking, did not tell her at all what I was doing. Like, I just said, "Can you listen to this and tell me what you hear?" And we heard it, and her eyes opened wide, and she's like, "It's angry at you. It's annoyed. It's annoyed that." She said the language. She said it's saying "nuda." What I can't pronounce what she said it. She said it was annoyed that you were there, and she wanted you to go, to leave. I'm like, really? Well, this is what I was doing. She's like, really? Yeah. So it was annoyed, and the grunt sounded like it was like, like it sounded like it was mad. So yeah, that was my very first kind of like experience with whatever.
So what inspired you to want to sleep beneath the X?
Well, I mean, I always like the adventure and the like they just finished telling me it's dangerous, Jay, and I was a 20% believer in Bigfoot back then.
Yeah.
So I was a little cocky and a little like, these creatures may not be real. So, it's danger. I like adventure. So why not? I've spent many nights in the forest in a hammock tent. So I'm like, why not? And if you see the video, the photos of the tree X, it's pretty amazing. Like there's no doubt it's not regular tree fall.
Okay, so what episode is this one of yours so they can go look at it?
Oh, so if anyone out there is watching my documentaries, there is 15 of them on Tubi. If you have Tubi TV, it's free to watch. You don't have to go in order. You can watch whatever one you feel like it, but the only ones the two that you have to watch in order is 3 and 4. Okay. That is the UP of Michigan. It was supposed to be Searching for Sasquatch 3, Part 1, Part 2, but Tubi said no. No, it has to be 3 and 4.
Oh, okay.
So those are the only two I ask if you guys want to watch. But yeah, there's some other stuff. Number 4 at the end was probably one of the scariest encounters ever. Well, maybe not ever. There's another one, but there's quite a few. I've captured some really weird stuff.
Okay, so what is that has been published? What is the craziest, weirdest thing you've caught so far?
Well, on film, I came around. Well, that's a long story, but that was also in Michigan. It was by Ann Arbor.
Is this the one that dropped? Or is this the one that's? Because I know you have one that's about to drop.
The one with the spider crawl.
No.
Yeah, no.
You didn't tell me about this one at all.
UP, that's the one of the scariest.
Okay. I'm a big fan of the spider
But
crawl.
the one that dropped down when I was walking with everyone, and I kind of veered off and left everyone, and I walked around some bushes, and they're standing in front of me. I want to say maybe it was 7 feet, but it was also kind of slanted above the hill, so it could have been even taller. And that one, and I had my video camera rolling. So I'm shooting with like a professional 4K video camera on night mode, and it was running, but it wasn't recording. And as soon as I came around and saw it looking like just the eye shine, I was 25 feet, easy. And then as I saw it, I pushed record, and the camera has a half a second delay before it starts recording. And in that half a second, it dropped to the ground, and they just looked at me from behind the trees, and I pushed record then. And you could clearly see there's something with eye shine, really ape monkey-like as it's looking. And I'm standing there shaking, and I'm like thinking that because everyone was saying that it was a young Bigfoot that we were chasing. And before all this happened, there was like 5 of us, and we were all seeing the eye shine of peeking behind trees. We're all seeing this, and we're running towards where it was and where all these creatures were, and we could hear them crashing through the forest. Not only were they crashing through the forest, but you know how we try and avoid the limbs? Imagine like a football player not even trying to avoid these big limbs and just crashing through them, taking out the limbs and stepping on logs that were cracking underneath them. We could hear this, and I'm catching this on video and watching and catching the eye shine from behind. So, and then now I'm looking at this, and everyone saying it's a young one, and the parents are pissed off, Jay. We had a psychic with us, like someone that could mind speak with these creatures.
Yeah.
And was saying that this creature, it's a young one, and the parents, Jason, stop chasing it because you're pissing off the parents. And so when I'm standing there, I'm thinking that the parents are going to walk up behind me and just go, hit me on the top of the head. And I'm shaking. And then I called out to Ernie, another researcher that was not far from me. I said, I'm looking at it. And you see it on video. You hear my vibrato on my voice because I was so scared. And as he was coming over, you could hear it running off, crashing through the forest. So, but you can find that, and that one is number 6.
Number 6?
Yeah. And so When you hear the Sparta call?
I want to hear the Sparta call.
So, okay, I'm sitting around the fire, and one of the researchers came walking up, and he said, okay, points to the guy next to me and says, okay, let's go. It's about, I want to say 11 p.m. at night. He's like, okay, let's go. Let's go get the audio recorder we put out during the day, and probably a couple miles back in the forest. And the guy next to me is like, no, I'm not going out there. No, are you kidding? Look how scary it is. And so Blake is like looking a little kind of like, like he has to go alone. So I jump up. I said, I'll go. So I grab my camera, my video camera, and we start walking. We disappear into the shadows away from everyone, just us two. And as we're walking, I had learned about the tree breaks. So we were looking at I was filming all the tree breaks, and we're talking like branches that were maybe 2 times the size of pencils that were twisted and broken.
Oh, wow.
And they were hanging. And, I was taught or shown that allegedly these Bigfoot creatures like to break the tree breaks for other Bigfoots, or maybe for him to follow back. Who knows? But some of them were as thick as my arm, which my arms aren't that thick, so that's a bad example, guys. But yeah, they were twisted. The thing is, a human probably can't twist a branch and then break it. And must have filmed about 20 breaks along the way. And at some point there was an area where all the trees, probably 6, maybe 8 trees, quite thick, maybe about maybe a foot in diameter, were pushed across the path, just kind of pushed right across. And we had to crawl over and under to get through. And it's really thick forest on either side of us. So all of a sudden we come a row of trees, and none of them were broken. Like when I say they were pushed over, they were bent over, like actual bent over. And there was only 6 of them. And it was the oddest thing to see, as if something pushed it over or bent it over to stop whoever to go forward. So we got further and further, and the wilderness had basically swallowed up smaller and smaller along the way. Like, you could almost not see the trail because it was all grass, and the trees had moved in closer. Like this was, and we were pretty deep in. You have to remember that we had driven about an hour and a half into where we had set up camp. Now we're walking about 2 miles, even deeper in. And we collected the recorder and we started back. Just walking back. That's what I usually do in the forest. And sometimes I kind of joke around in the forest because I get so scared that I start joking because it calms me down, or I'll just everywhere. Like I'm telling you, it can be pretty bad. And so we're walking back. As we're walking, we look up and we see these 2 tree breaks hanging directly over the path. And I turn to Blake. I'm like, I don't remember those. And as we walk up to him, and we're talking in the middle of the path, like we almost had to go around it. And they were twisted and broken, and the sap was still dripping. They literally had just been broken.
Yeah.
And as we're investigating, and we have our faces right up against these breaks, looking closely for hair or anything, we hear a crack from behind us, and we jump, and we turn around quick, and we're looking probably about 100 feet down the trail from where we came, and all of a sudden, this creature is standing there. You can see the eyes shine, looking at us. And I freak out. I'm like, oh my God. I see the eye shine, and my video camera's rolling, and I'm trying to, it's going, my video camera's focusing in and out. Like I'm not able to, and and I'm trying to get it on film, and then suddenly the eyes close after about 5 minutes of looking. We were looking at this for like 5 minutes. It was probably 3 minutes, but it just sounded like forever.
It felt like 5 minutes.
Like forever. Yeah. And then it closed its eyes, and then about 2 minutes later, it opened it back up, but not as bright, almost like it closed its eyes and then it just opened slowly, and it was further back, as if it was trying to stay just outside of the beam of light from the infrared, from the video camera, because you can only see 30 or 40 feet from that's the beam of light from the, and then all of a sudden a second one walked out from the side, and it was shorter. And so Blake and I are looking at this, and then and we were looking at this for a good 15 minutes. It wasn't like 30 seconds. We were watching this, and then suddenly they disappear. They close their eyes or they turn their heads. And as we're watching these creatures, we could hear crunch, crunch in the forest on either side of us. And Blake turns to me and says, "Don't run." And I look at him and I'm like, "Don't run? Are you fucking kidding me? I might be freaking out, but where am I going to go? Like, we're in the middle of the forest. I mean, if these creatures, we're still alive. So if these creatures want to kill us, they just walk out and twist their heads off.
Yeah.
I'm not going to run. Trust me. I'd rather be beside you and get killed together than, maybe they go after you first and I get a chance to get 100 feet. So we rushed up to the front to have a look to where it was standing or where they were. And sure enough, there was nothing there. And we looked to the side and there was a big opening in the forest, like in the trees.
Yeah.
It was all dense trees on either side, except for this one area where you could just easily walk through. So we walked back to so we looked for footprints. We couldn't see anything, which is so odd. It really baffles me because you were talking about creatures that are allegedly 9 to 10 feet tall, weighing almost 1,000 pounds. How are they not leaving massive footprints in any dirt? I understand some dirt can be really heavy, but we're talking about 1,000 pounds.
Yep.
Like anything that's 1,000 pounds will leave marks, and these things are not leaving we couldn't find anything. I mean, of course, the ground had, like from before, the soft grass.
Maybe their feet are like snowshoes. That's why the reason they're so big.
Big feet, yeah.
Yeah, big feet, so that it helps distribute the weight.
It's possibly. Imagine 21 inches or 25 inches. I guess, that's a good idea. So we walked back to the tree breaks that we originally were looking at. And wait till I tell you what happened afterwards, but like 3 months later when I'm at home, actually I'll tell you now, 3 months later when I got home from all this, actually I'll go back to that in a second. So we're looking at this, and so Blake turned around just to look back into the direction of where we were looking at these eyeshine. And then all of a sudden I did this maneuver, because I used to teach dance for a very long time, and I did like hip-hop jazz, so I used to do these really neat foot moves so I pretended to go forward towards Blake, and I quickly turned, like I slid 180 degrees really fast. So I pretended to go forward, and I turned around really fast, and there standing behind a tree was this creature, and it hit the ground. It went down, and then I think there was a second one that went. My mind is really fuzzy about that, but I think there was a second one that went behind the tree. But one hit, and my video camera was facing me because I was talking. I was talking about what was happening.
Yeah.
So my eyes were still adjusting to the white, to the light on the screen, and I look. And it dropped to the ground. It did this. It looked like a giant spider. I said crab when I was talking about it on video, but a giant spider went boom, boom into the forest, just like that. And the one thing I remember is the eye shine. The eye shine. The eyes looked at me the entire time, and there was as if it was on a gimbal or a stabilization.
Yeah.
There was no bobbing. It was smooth as butter as it went across. And I'm looking at it going, is that a cougar? What? A wolf? Because we were seeing cougar and wolf tracks all over the place. And I know cougars will bend down. But the way it was, this giant thing just went right across into the forest, and the eyes shine, and I'm focusing on it, and I almost fell backwards, and I was freaking out. And, Blake turned around, and I went to show him where the spot was. And as we walked to it, you could hear something move in the forest. And on camera, I said, "Oh, it's a bird." Because I'm trying to make myself, I didn't know what exactly I was seeing because I only saw the eye shine. But it was like 25 feet away. It wasn't. And then all of a sudden, so 3 months later, as I'm at home on the computer, and I edit with the lights off, so it's all dark. I'm going through the footage. As I'm talking on camera, you could see the eye shine of the creature standing right behind us in the forest, like 10 feet away.
Oh, wow.
All I had to do was just take the camera, the flashlight, and just shine it. I would have seen it. And it was standing next to Blake. As I was walking to show... So do you remember when I said that Blake was looking at the eye shine?
Yeah.
And then as I turned around, he turned around, and I had the camera facing me. Well, the eye shine, the creature was standing right there in front of Blake. Blake would have only had to look up, and would have probably seen it without a light. It was so close.
Oh my God!
But we're so focused on the tree break, and we could see this on the camera. I could see it, and I'm in my room on the computer editing, and I see this, and I was like, oh, so what I saw was real. Like what I saw was something living.
Yeah.
And as I was walking with Blake to show him where the spot was, you could see the eye shine right over right behind us. I find that I catch a lot of eye shine when I'm talking on camera. It's as if the creatures think I'm not looking at them, but not realizing that the
camera's on you, yeah.
On me, and you see it pop its head out. Throughout my documentaries, you will actually see that.
That's crazy.
In real time, we never saw it, but on the camera, like 3 months later, I'd see. But that was terrifying. To see that big shape, it was like a big shadow, kind of like looked like a giant spider. The way the legs were like woo woo, and was gone into the forest. Then we went back. We went all the way back to camp, and it still took us 20 minutes to get back to camp. And we're telling everyone what happened. And, after an hour, I'm sitting by the fire, just chilling. I'm still trying to get over. And all I'm thinking is, I'm sleeping in the back of the truck tonight. I had a walkie-talkie on me. And I hear, Jason, copy. And I'm like, I ignore it at first. And he goes, Jason, there is something watching you guys at the campfire. It's like right next to you guys watching you. And I'm like, I answer. I'm like, okay. Not thinking anything of it. I'm still trying to recover from, what I just seen. And so I walk over through the forest because where the campfire was, from where David was, his back was to the trucks. The trucks were, and he was on the edge. Like his back could almost touch a truck.
Okay.
So it was like that close. And then we were like, I don't know how you say it, we were like to the side into the forest about maybe 50 feet. And that's where we were camping. And so that's where the campfire and some of the tents were set up within the forest. We were no clearing. We had to clear stuff out to put the tents up because there was so many trees around. So I walked across in the dark. I brought my camera and I said, okay, where is it? And he said, it's right in there about 25 feet and it's behind a tree and it's looking at the fire where you are. So he had a flare, like a military style flare binocular. Obviously, the video wasn't working. Obviously. Couldn't be that lucky. Like the odds are so stupid. And so I slowly moved the binoculars from his face and moved it because I wanted to make sure I could see where he was looking. And I moved it to my eyes. No lie, as I'm sitting here talking to you right now, there is something looking, and it is behind the tree, and you see the back of it. You see the back poking out, and you see a bit of the head on the other side. The tree was probably about, I want to say 2 feet in diameter. So it wasn't massive, but it wasn't small.
Yeah.
And you could see the back of it, and it's red, white, hot. Like it's really hot. There was obviously something, and it was standing. It looked like a human, but you could see just a little bit of the head on the front. And it was facing, watching the campfire. And I was just there, and I know everybody. There was about 6 of us, 6 or 7. We were all there. No one was just veering off into the forest. So I said, okay, David, I'm going to walk about 10 feet or 15 feet into the forest diagonally, and I'm going to walk towards it. I'm going to try and push it out because I wanted to push it out to the side so he clearly could see what it is. So I had my video camera, but I knew it was so thick of the forest that I knew that I couldn't film it. But I had my video going, and I wanted the audio. That's what I wanted. So I didn't use a flashlight. So here I am stumbling in the forest, tripping over stumps and roots.
You're making noise.
And at the same time, I'm nervous and scared a little bit, right? Okay, a lot. Okay, I was scared lots. Okay, I will not lie. I always get nervous and scared when I go out looking for these creatures because you don't know what they're going to do if they truly want to hurt you. So I'm stumbling in the forest, and I get to about 15 feet to the side, and now I'm prepared. I turn, and I walk through the darkness, stumbling and falling over roots, and I'm going towards where the creature is. And now I know I'm at an angle where the creature would walk out to the side of the tree. And I'm like, David, what's happening? I'm not even doing the walkie. I was just still close enough to David that he could hear me. I'm like, David, what's happening? What's happening? I'm like, I'm getting close. I could hear it moving. He's like, it's walking away. I said, I know it is. I can hear it. So what does it look like? And he's not answering me. And I'm like, David, what the hell is going on? What? Like at that point, I wasn't trying to whisper. I was like, David, all frustrated. I could hear it moving, whatever. And I must have got within 10 feet because I could hear it moving. So I walked back out. This time I put the flashlight and I walked back out towards David. I said, so David, what did you see? You will not believe what this freaking creature did. You would not believe. And all you listeners out there, I will not, I will understand if you say that I am full of crap for the next thing I'm going to tell you because it's unbelievable. The creature walked away using the tree as cover. So it backed up.
Really?
It didn't, like I was trying to push it off to the side.
Yeah.
It actually, as if it knew.
What you were doing.
It knew what I was doing, and it knew I couldn't see it. And it just blew me away. It basically walked away. I don't even know how to explain, like using the tree between David and itself. It didn't. And
So it shielded itself then from David.
Yes.
So it knew what David was doing.
Exactly. And I was off to the side walking towards it.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure it would have just backed to the side and David would have seen full well what it was. Nope. David said it used the tree as cover.
Did you have the IR light on your camera? Because you said you were running your camera.
Yes, but I did. But the trees and the bushes were so thick that you couldn't see beyond that.
Yeah, so the reason I'm asking.
I got the audio of the whatever it was moving. You could hear it walking. It didn't run. It just kind of.
Yeah, but no IR on your camera though when you were walking up towards it to flush it out?
Yes, I had the IR going.
Okay, so I'm curious whether because.
Oh, maybe it saw the IR.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that could
because
be a
there's so many
possibility.
theories out there.
Yeah.
They can see an IR, they can see this, they can see that. I think that like even on trail cams, if you notice at night when it flashed, the deer are always looking at it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm wondering whether or not same thing.
It could be a big possibility.
But I like the fact though because I do believe that it did use the tree. 'Cause I think it was watching David, knew you were coming, and so it maybe was perceiving David more as a threat and being smart and so my tactical mind is saying that, so it used that as a shield to back itself out, and that's
Intelligent.
fascinating. Yeah, and it's extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
And I like the fact of the structures and how they're messing with us. I really do. And we were talking last night though about them being juveniles that are messing with us more. We don't see the big ones.
Yeah.
Very rarely do we see them. It's always the smaller ones.
Yeah, yeah. And the big ones actually might be coming out looking for the younger ones. Maybe.
Yeah, trying to lure them back in.
I mean, everything we know about these creatures, we really don't know unless, some way we can, find them in the forest and we can study them.
Exactly. I like how you said that too, because I always had this theory there's no experts.
Yes.
There's people with knowledge, years of knowledge and evidence gathering, but nobody's an expert on what they are.
I'm an expert at being scared and running.
Well, you didn't run yesterday.
No.
No.
I joke about that, but I have 2 rules when I go out with researchers. And the number 1 rule is no hoaxing. No throwing something into the forest and pretending that, there's something out there to get my reaction. If I find out that you did that, that will be a bad thing. I would never research with you again. No running off and pretending that you're a creature in the forest. I mean, that's, I really want these creatures to be real. I get excited, and you see me on the film getting excited about, whatever's moving around in the forest. And I really, truly want to believe that these creatures are real. After 6 years, I've moved up from being a 20% believer to about 50% believer.
Only 50% after those encounters?
Well, the only reason why I haven't moved any closer up is because I need a daytime sighting, 50 feet away. I need the creature to walk up, slap me in the face, and, carry me off before I'm 100%, so to speak. But really, I need it to be a daytime sighting. Everything that's ever happened has been nighttime, and it's usually with the eye shine. I have some roars that are pretty incredible. But the second thing, the number 2 thing, if you ever go out with me, is if anything happens out there, we get roared at, screamed at, rock throw, maybe it does walk out in front of us, you don't run. That's the number 1 rule. Stay close. Stay close to me. I won't protect you.
Well, running makes you prey.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why. And if it turns out it is a bear or a cougar or a wolf, the chances of it attacking, 2 or 3 or 4 people is very slim. So it's better that we all stay together than if you freak out and run away. I've been out in the field, and I don't know how many camera people that, something cracks in the forest and they run with my equipment. And yes, call me selfish, but I'm running after them, not trying to protect them, but to get my equipment.
It's a lot of money in that equipment. Trust me, I understand completely all the money that gets dropped into this stuff. I know that much. I know that yesterday I had such a good time and gained so much knowledge from you and Todd. And if you notice, a lot of times I just kind of hung back and just kind of listened and kind of observed and taking everything in. The citizen scientist part and trying to track down to figure these things out to where I get where you're at the 50% mark, to where you've had the encounters, you're trying to break them down, and you want to have it right there in front of you.
Yeah.
So you believe there's something out there. You do believe in Bigfoot, but you don't believe. I think you're on the same page. Like you asked me last night, what do I think Bigfoot is? And my answer was, I don't know. And I think that's where you're at as well.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they are. I believe they're flesh and blood. I do think they might have some kind of abilities of extreme camouflage. When I think of Sasquatch, I think like abilities, like some people say infrasound. Some people say that they have infrasound and they have invisibility. Well, I think of what animals out there in the wild that we do know have abilities. And with camouflage, we know that the cuttlefish can almost turn invisible.
Yep.
The octopus is an incredible escape artist. We know that the chameleon, right? We know that even the stick bug has incredible abilities of camouflage. So maybe Bigfoot does have some kind of a cloaking device or cloaking ability. I don't know if they can turn completely invisible because you have to understand something. If Bigfoot can truly turn invisible, why would they ever come out of being invisible? Because, everyone says, well, stop looking for these creatures. They don't want to be seen, or they don't want to be bothered. Well, if that's the case, why, like I'm in a park, there's no way that we are going to be coming onto a Bigfoot. The Bigfoots come to us. We're in a massive forest of like 1 million acres of forest, and the creatures are next to us, throwing rocks or roaring or eye shine. If a Bigfoot truly did not want to be seen, they would just go way up into the mountains, into the backside where humans don't ever go.
Yep.
And if they could be invisible, then why would they ever come out of being invisible and get shot? Or like, meaning they could be, it's danger. It's danger.
Yeah.
Dangerous. The same with portals, how they go in and out of portals.
Allegedly. Yep.
Allegedly. Well, if they could go into portals, why would they ever come out of portals? Like, it's dangerous. They can get shot. They can get killed.
Or why would they come near us?
Or come near us.
Yeah.
At all.
So I get the portal transportation moving
Yeah.
from one point to another, but why would you pop in where we're hanging out at?
Exactly. And that also, my theory is they're young. Like, we were teenagers. I don't know about my fans or the viewers here. I used to jump out my top bedroom window at 1 o'clock in the morning and meet up with my buddies, and we used to go go torment, whoever, like just have fun as teenagers. So
Did the same thing, except for I wasn't on the top floor, I was on the ground floor.
Yeah.
And it's where my parents ended up screwing in my screens to stop me from doing it.
Really?
Yeah. So my friends brought screwdrivers.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So maybe, these Bigfoot creatures.
And yes, Mom and Dad, you already know that.
Yeah. And Mom and Dad, I lied. I never escaped. I never jumped out my windows at all. You'll listen. But yeah, so it's, who knows? I mean, it's a mystery out there.
But I love the mystery of it, though. I love it. I absolutely love it. I've been fascinated with these things since I was a kid. And, my listeners have already heard all that. Me growing up in Utah and everything, and having encounters potential encounters as a kid to where you can't, like we were talking to, though, it could have been polluted. It could have been, other people around. It could have been making other noises and such. And,
Yeah. It's interesting that these creatures come really close to us. I went to Texas on the border of the Sabine River, Louisiana and Texas.
yeah, I believe that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we camped out there on private property, and the entire wilderness around us just erupted with roars and screams and howls. And at one point, we actually captured a photo, a FLIR photo of something that stood up in the forest watching us. It's pretty cool footage. But yeah, I was filming the whole thing, and it was exciting, and it went on for like an hour, just constantly.
Oh, wow.
And then the coyotes would howl, and I love when the coyotes howl around the same time as these unidentified creatures howl, because I can tell the difference between the coyote sounds and these other howls. that I'm not familiar with, because these creatures, they see the howls are so a little bit deeper, longer, and with coyotes they yelp. Right before they howl, they yip 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 yip. Where these other unknown creatures, like possible Bigfoots, they go right into it, and humans have trouble going right into it, actually going into the actual. They go, woo, like they go right into it. And humans, constantly, we don't. We start low and go high. Woo,
That's true. Yeah.
So
I never thought of that. Never put the 2 and 2 together on that one.
Yeah, so just over. But yeah, Texas is cool. I have some roars.
Oh.
Would you like to hear the roars?
I would. You may have to send them to. Well, I wonder if we can. You know what? Hold on a second. Let me get the cable out real quick, and I can connect the phone up to it real quick. Hang on.
See if maybe we can. Yeah, and so we're in Minnesota. We're in.
Will that fit?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
in
Hang on a
Minnesota.
second. Let me get it hooked up.
We're in Minnesota on the Red Lake Indian Band, and one of the First Nations guys. He was an old guy, and on his back porch of his house, there was 800,000 acres of hectares of forest, wilderness, and he caught these roars. These roars that came. They must have been 30 feet in the forest. They were so close. This is what he captured. I'll play the small one, the small audio. So you hear that last bit
Yeah, I heard that little grunt at
where
the
it
end.
grunted. So
Yeah.
let's hear it again.
Yeah.
So this one is longer, and it has like 5 or 6 of them going off. Now that roar that I just showed you, I heard that roar in Texas in real time, and I could feel it, not just hear it. And it was incredible. Like all around us, it was just going off. So to hear it in person, it just shakes you to the core. Now this one has a whole bunch of them, 5 or 6 of them. I kind of joke and I say that, maybe one of them is giving birth, and then as soon as it gave birth, they all cheered and howled, and they were,
Yeah.
but who knows? But just give it a second, and they'll all come out. You hear that one in the background?
Yeah.
You give it a second, they all start up. Oh, gave birth. Now everybody's... Hear that long one?
Yeah.
And that's it for that. That's pretty incredible, eh?
That is beyond incredible. That is okay. The second one gave me goosebumps.
Yeah. It sounds like you see where I was, joking, saying one, maybe one's giving birth. That's why it sounds angry. And then all of a sudden it just, gives birth, and then they all freak out. Like, it sounds angry or
Yeah.
hurt. But anyway, that was caught there. And so we went to investigate in that area. And at one point, we're all sitting around this campfire. There's a bunch of us, about 5 of us. And nothing's happening. I'm there for 2 hours. So, I stand up and I go, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to just howl. And a couple of researchers are like, Jay, don't howl. It's stupid. You look like an idiot. I'm like, well, I look like an idiot doing anything. Eating cereal, I look like an idiot. So
No.
just for shits and giggles, I'm just going to howl. We've been here for 2 hours, and nothing's happened. So let me just howl. And, they rolled their eyes, and I'm like, okay. So I howled. I did one big howl. No lies, I'm sitting in front of you. Within 30 seconds later, we got this blood-curdling howl right beside us in the forest. Then all of a sudden, another one howled in front of us, probably about 2 miles away, and then the coyote started. And it just blew us away. And then I was with the she-squatchers.
They're actually coming to Arkansas next month in November.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. You are in for a treat.
Well, I'm not. Well, they're going to, I guess they posted that they're going to Folk, Arkansas.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be down there sometime in November. So Tommy got a hold of me this morning and was telling me about it. And I was like, ironic, we were just talking about them last night. Never met him. So, yeah.
So are they going to a convention or a festival?
No, I think they're just going down there. So he said he was going to send me the link about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I love those
You're
ladies.
going to Louisiana too, though, aren't you?
Yep. Yep. Going to Louisiana. We're going to do a documentary on either the swamp monster down there, either the folk. Is it called the folk monster?
The folk monster. I'm not from Arkansas either. So every time I say it, everybody corrects me on it. So.
Well, Louisiana, we're going to also look into the Honey Island swamp monster.
Well, that'll be fun.
Or the Rougarou that they have down there.
The Rougarou.
Because not only do I go searching for Bigfoot, I also go searching for other cryptids, such as the Jersey Devil, the Mothman, the flying dinosaurs of New Mexico. I'm not really big into the lake monsters or the sea monsters because they're all on the island. You're on water the whole time. So the whole documentary is just you on a boat or you walking along the shore.
With a sonar running.
I mean, it's kind of exciting to dive into the water and look around. But, I mean, yeah. But doing all the other monsters. I'm a real-life monster hunter, with a camera.
How cool is that?
It's very cool.
How cool is it you started off just filming regular animals?
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, you switched.
Yeah.
And now look at you. I mean, I know you're being invited to conferences now. I mean, you are, in a lot of ways, a modern-day Indiana Jones. You really, really are, without the hat. And I think you should go without the hat even more.
Yeah.
The blonde hair kind of gives you your own, I don't know, look. It's your look. You've got the look for it. So I would definitely stick with that.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I didn't want to put the hat on because there's quite a few researchers out there that wear the hat, which is nothing wrong with it. It looks good. I didn't want to get into that category as, another guy with a Indiana Jones hat.
You want to stand out.
Yeah, a little bit stand out.
Well, and to be honest with you, too, I do think that a lot of researchers get lumped into. Actually, there's 3 camps when it comes to Bigfoot. I know that much. There's a camp that's all physical. There's nothing supernatural. There's nothing crazy about it. It's just a physical animal. Then there's the second camp, which is physical. Maybe there's some other weird stuff that goes with it. And then you have the third camp that is all, for the woo. And I'm all about all 3 camps. I really am. But it's funny. In the Bigfoot field, it's so divided.
Yeah.
And same thing with the UFO field. I mean, with any of these, cryptids, monsters, creatures, the field is so divided. Instead of everybody coming together going, hey, look, this is what I got evidence of here. And you got this evidence here. Put them together, and maybe there is something more to it. And, I mean, it's crazy. To where, I'm a dime a dozen podcaster out there, and to be something unique as well, to not compete with everybody else, but to get out there as well. And I'm just having fun doing it. And I like the fact that working with you yesterday, we had so much fun.
It was amazing. It was fun.
I had so much fun, and I remember I sat back a lot. I was taking a lot of notes mentally, and watching how you were working, what you were doing. And there was not one point in time you were like, oh, let's jump up here. Hey, let's run over here. Hey, let's do this. I was going, this is crazy. I was like, I got to keep up, Yeah,
we were walking down the river, and there was very little water.
And on that note, it was you and me that walked through the river.
Yes.
Nobody else went down there. It was you and me trying to climb over these big boulders and looking because we were trying to find the structures the guy was telling us about. Remember?
Exactly.
Yep.
And I was impressed that you were beside me. It was tough going, but we're pretty flexible. So we were jumping on we're talking boulders. Like some of the boulders were the size of a car.
Yeah, there was a couple of Volkswagen ones down there.
Yeah, there was some big boulders, and some little bit of water puddles. No real running water.
No.
But we did find the structures, and here we are thinking that they're made out of wood.
I know, that was the crazy part.
And when we found the structures, they were basically made out of stone, like little boulders, little rocks.
Yeah.
But
what's funny though is that you remember, so we found the big one.
Yeah.
And then beside it there was an outline of another one.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the possibility, what it could be. And when I went back and looked, and I haven't told you this yet, so I'm going to tell you now.
Okay.
I think the first one wasn't what you think it is. I think the second one is.
Trying to copy it.
Uh-huh. I think the first one is an original based upon what we were looking for.
Yeah.
And the second one was the first part of what you're thinking.
I know how you came up with that. Now that I think about it.
Uh-huh.
I think...
Because I don't want to give anything away in the show.
No, but I think they got... That big one would take a long time to build.
A lot longer than what we were estimating.
A long time. It wouldn't be
and it was in the ground.
Yeah, it was in the ground. And the other one, I think whoever was trying to copy it, they got tired.
Yeah.
They probably spent an hour, maybe they spent 2 hours to build half of this one. They're like, wow, I'm tired. Yep. So that's why, and it still
I think one is people, I think one is not.
Yeah, it's a big possibility.
I was waiting to do that on the show because I wanted to see whether we're on the same page. So I thought about this last night.
Now that I think about it in my mind, when I remember how the other one was only half done, not even half, it was a quarter done, and the other one was pretty much fully done. Well, whatever, it took hands to build it. It looked like just a giant...
rock nest.
That's what it looked like.
Yep.
Right? And it was probably made by rock nest monsters. Dun-dun-dun. I'm here all day.
Exactly. Well, we are the Rocky State. Not the Rocky Mountains, but Arkansas is definitely full of rocks.
But we could talk about what we did. So we went into the caves.
Yep.
We went looking for any evidence in these caves. And there was some caves, one part where you literally had to crawl. And we had knee pads and we had gloves. And we had helmets, but we didn't wear any of those.
No.
Like none. We were just so lazy to stop. We were so excited about it.
That was at the end of the hike. That was all the way at the end of the hike when we got to the cave. And I think that we were just kind of like, all right, here, we made it. All right, let's just go look. And then we were trying to figure out which passage it was.
Yeah.
I think the first one that you and me went into, I think that one was the better passage to get through instead of the way we came out.
Yeah.
So I was looking for that on the way out. It was so camouflaged you couldn't see it.
I actually think the way we came out, the last 20, 30 feet of coming out was easier than going the other way that we came in, only because we could stand up.
Yeah.
Right? That's why. But the other way looked really cool on film.
Oh, yeah, going through the curve.
It was like a passageway, like literally a passageway. And you have to, it's something out of an adventure movie for sure. Like you have to go, you're standing up, the wall closes in and you have to shimmy to the side to get through, and you have to exhale just to get your chest. So
and then drop all the way down.
And drop in, then you have to drop down and you're crawling, and it looks, I filmed the whole thing. Everybody will I look like an idiot under there because I'm like, oh God, oh my God, my legs, it was fun.
Yep.
We get to the very end inside the cave, and then it opened up into this huge cavern with a small little waterfall. I understand that if the waterfall was much bigger, we probably couldn't have got there.
No, there's no way we could have got through there.
A lot of water running.
Yep.
But it was amazing, and we stayed in there for a while. We looked around. We didn't really find much evidence, but the adventure, it's called Searching for Sasquatch. So my documentaries are the adventure of looking for these creatures. Also, I love interviewing the eyewitnesses. So the people I interview, they lead me to the locations where they've had their encounters. and then we travel to that area, and then we go deep into the forest looking for, these creatures, looking for any evidence. We found some incredible evidence last week.
Well, I got to get with your schedule because I have got a hot spot perfect here.
Oh, yeah?
That I've been working on. I sent you some of the pictures
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago.
I think you did, yeah.
Yep. And I've got more. My phone's been going off. I've been asking for some other pictures. Some of the I'm going to look and see real quick. This is why I love doing the podcast because, it's raw, unedited. We don't really edit anything. Let's see here. Sure did.
Well,
So we were talking about some of the tree bends, right?
yeah.
So just so you can see, these are what they just found last week, my research team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So this is what's interesting about tree bends.
And
Well-
now I haven't published any of these yet either, so
Yeah.
you get to see, you're one of the first people to get to see this.
Oh, that's cool. Well, what's interesting is out of all the places I've been to around North America, and I've been to at least 20 different areas, like 7 different states, I've been finding very similar things in all these, like tree bends, tree X's. All these different, and it's really interesting to see that these, these creatures build the same kind of stuff in all these different locations.
Now, I did show you, and the audience doesn't know this yet. Did I show you the face?
I know.
I didn't show you the face?
Did you? I don't remember if you, maybe you did. Oh, yes, I think you did.
Yeah, right there?
Yeah, the face, and it looks like it has a nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I just had deja vu.
Yeah,
No, of us doing this right here.
yeah. Looking at.
Yeah, doing
Yeah,
looking
that
at
does
that.
look like a nose, like it's off to the side.
Yeah, but the funny part is the next picture, because he took them back to back,
Yeah,
and it's not in there.
yeah, back and forth. It's interesting. Like I said,
Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, we're going back up there just to recreate that photo. To where with deer season coming in, the owner doesn't want us up there. So when he goes up there to check cameras and feed for corn, I'm gonna go up there with them, and we're gonna recreate that photo right there. See if we can't capture me or him in the photo and try and get an idea how big or how far back it was. And so that's what we're gonna be working on.
Yeah.
So when spring happens, I need to have you come back down, and I might be able to take you out there, show you some stuff.
Yeah,
I got a
that
good spot.
That would be awesome. I
So-
would love to do that.
Definitely. Well, I think this is a good spot to end it on. If not, I will be talking. I could talk to you all day long. And so I was trying not to bother you so much yesterday. And I had so much fun riding the Jeep with you yesterday and driving us around and watching you go to work and do what you're doing. And what I loved the most about it was yesterday, all day, I was tired. Todd, I'm going to call you up. Todd was tired. And poor Chad was just beat up from the night before. You maintained that same excitement all the way through. People on the trail would run to somebody, and you would just jump right in there and go, "Hey, man, how's it going? What are you doing?" And ask them. And now, even when we stopped at the little store, I went in and used the bathroom and come walking on out, and there's Jason handing out his card. This is what we're out here doing. I love that excitement, and I wish more and more people who get into this field would have that same excitement, and the energy comes off on your shows. And when you are filming, and it's hard to describe, but you had this awesome energy about you, and to where, just walking around the house over here. This morning you come walk out with me and Todd, and you had that grin on your face. You just woke up, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And me and Todd, we're drinking coffee.
Asleep.
Yeah, we're still. I've been away for a couple hours. Todd just woke up, and here comes Jason. "Hey guys, how you doing?" And I was like, "This is great." So I can see why so many people migrate towards you, and because they want to share that energy that you carry, and to be part of your show means so much to me, and I am completely humbled and grateful that I am sitting across the table right now from Jason Kenzie. The roles are reversed. You could get the little excitement that I have about it, to where I'm able to live the dream. And what I want everybody to understand is that you took a dream and you put so much time and energy into it, and it shows in everything that you do. We got in last night, you guys, and we got in late. We got in super late. And right off the bat, he goes right to the computer and he's already editing. I think you spent, because me and Todd had a whole bunch of conversations. The whole entire time, Jason's back there working, editing, checking this out, checking that out. He'd pull us in, hey, y'all, look at this. Was that a good shot? What do you think? Then we captured. I mean, this is Jason's passion and baby. And I know there's some bigger things going to happen for you soon. I know there is. And I don't want to talk about it yet. If anything, I'll let you handle that part. And I'm excited to see where your show goes. I cannot wait. And I know you gained a whole bunch of new fans from me and mine. And it's where my little girl is so excited that I'm up here doing this right now. So I just want to say thank you again for the opportunity to come on.
What's your little girl's name?
Samantha.
Hey, Samantha. This is coming from Jason Kenzie. You behave yourself, okay? Stay in school.
Yeah, that's the challenge right there.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
Because every day's like going, I don't want to go to school. I'm like, trust me, kid, neither did I. But no. But Jason, man, thank you for coming on the show. This means, and tomorrow morning, I'm going to interview Chad.
That's exciting.
I know.
That's good.
Because I caught on some things yesterday. He was so tired. And this morning he was full of energy. He goes, yeah, I want to be on the show. I was like, all right. Then I know we got to get ready to take off here soon because we're about to go out to the woods again.
Yeah, we're going to go out tonight. And we're going to do our research. Just, go out at night. See if we can get any evidence, any howls. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun either way. Before I let you go, I want everyone to know that you can find all my documentaries on Tubi. You can find them on Plex. There's a new streaming platform out of England called Parastream, and they are going to be launching this month sometime, very close in the next few days. So that's going to be very exciting. I also have my animal adventures. You can also find those on YouTube. It's A Photo Warrior, all one word. You can also find my children's books. I published 4 children's books called Adventures of Little JJ. And the last 2 of those books are also Bigfoot related. It's about a little 6-year-old boy that travels around the world meeting new animal friends. And you can also find my comic book. It's a graphic novel. And it's called Searching for Sasquatch, The Hidden Treasure of Bigfoot Valley, about an elite group of Bigfoot researchers that go into the forest searching for a lost dog that was taken by Bigfoot. And to find out if these creatures are real, they pass through a portal into this weird land that had flying dinosaurs. And there they found a treasure. All this treasure, this gold and jewels. And the little blonde filmmaker, not going to say who it was, got all greedy and wanted to take all the treasure. And the Bigfoot people were, angry that we were trying to take their treasure. And within the treasure, there was a medallion that gives the Bigfoot people their ability of speed, sight, smell, strength. And they didn't want us taking it. And there was a twist at the end of it, and we have to get out of this dimension before alive without the Bigfoots, killing us. No one dies in the comic book, and it's good for all ages. I wrote it in a way where children can learn to go into the forest and make little animal friends, and adults can read it and enjoy the adventure looking for Sasquatch.
Love it. I'm going to read it. You were telling me about it yesterday. And I'm going to have all the links posted, you guys, in the show description. Plus, don't forget to join the Patreon. On the Patreon, we have other episodes up there for you guys. And all the photos and everything of the research that I'm doing on my end are published there. The photos that I took for Jason and everything yesterday, those are all going to wait until after the show drops. I did post some teasers. There will be some more teaser photos posted as we do this. But all the photos and everything are not going to be dropped until after the episode drops. I don't want to take anything away from Jason at all because it's an amazing show. Please go check his show out. Have fun with it. Stay safe out there. Don't forget, get outside, breathe in the fresh air, unplug for a little bit, get out and enjoy nature. That's what life's all about. So until next time, Jason, thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Y'all stay safe out there.
Jump from the tree. One of my playing tricks on me. darkness falls and they all creep in, the shadows of the moon around your teeth. It's okay to be afraid of all the monsters in the woods. They protect you from the ones that aren't understood. No one believes me, I know the truth. I say I'm lost, I need Bigfoot to show me the way. I'm searching for Sasquatch, I'm searching for Sasquatch. I'm lost, I need Bigfoot to show me the way. From Canada to Texas, from Cali to the Everglades, we search everywhere, but we don't know where they stay. We forge relationships everywhere that we may go, but I know he'll find me way before I'll find his home. No one believes me, I know the truth. I say I'm lost, I need Bigfoot to show me the way. I'm searching for Sasquatch, I'm searching for Sasquatch. I'm lost, I need Bigfoot to show me the way. The day will come, science meets reality. That day will be nothing short of normality. In bird and angel, we know what they say. I'm lost, I need Bigfoot to show me the way. I'm searching for Sasquatch, I'm searching for Sasquatch. I'm lost, I need Bigfoot to show me the way. Davy's adventurer, Ryder the tracker, Gerhard cryptid hunter, Kenzie filmmaker. I'm searching for Sasquatch, I'm searching for Sasquatch. I'm lost, I need Bigfoot to show me the way.